Did you know? The Ghost Stories anime is based on a series of popular novels. In 1990, Kodansha published the first volume of Gakkou no Kaidan, which can be translated as School Ghost Stories, by author Toru Tsunemitsu. Tsunemitsu was once a middle school teacher who began to compile scary stories from his students in the 1980s. In fact, many of the apparitions that show up in the anime, including Hanako and Akigami Aogami, are based on urban legends well known to Japanese schoolchildren. After collecting hundreds of stories over the years, Tsunemitsu wrote down much of what he had heard in simple, easy-to-understand language aimed at younger readers, which led him to becoming an overnight success. The popularity of Tsunemitsu's work created a craze for schoolhouse-themed spooky stories in Japan during the 1990s. In 1994, Kansai TV broadcast a 6-episode miniseries based on Tsunemitsu's work, all set in schools. Throughout the remainder of the decade, numerous other one-off specials were produced, while theatrically, Toho Studios launched its own series of features, starting with Gakkou no Kaidan, also known as Haunted School, in 1995. The proliferation of so many works based on Gakkou no Kaidan was a boon to many notable names in J-horror during the early days of their careers, including Takashi Shimizu, creator of the Grudge franchise, and Hideo Nakata, director of 1998's Ring. This all culminated to Studio Pierrot's animated adaptation, Gakkou no Kaidan, or Ghost Stories. Even though various other incarnations of Tsunemitsu's work have continued to crop up in Japan in both written and animated form, sadly, all fads eventually reached their crescendo. Though it had significant nostalgic appeal to Japanese viewers and enlisted top-tier industry professionals, such as director Noriyuki Abe, its reception was somewhat lackluster. By the time it was licensed by distributor ADV Films several years later, its popularity had waned, which led the production team to some very creative ends to garner appeal for a non-Japanese audience.
On the subject of ADV Films, their English version localization of Ghost Stories continues to carry a reputation for being one of the most beloved and most loathed examples of anime dubbing in history. According to numerous members of the staff and cast, including voice actor Greg Ayres, when acquiring the distribution rights, ADV was basically given notice from the Japanese licensors that the series didn't fare too well on television. So, ADV was allowed to do whatever they wanted, creatively speaking, in order to make the show sell. Provided they followed a few basic guidelines. They couldn't change the names of any of the main characters or ghosts. They couldn't change the way in which the ghosts were defeated, and they couldn't change the overall meaning of each episode. But other than that, it was pretty much anything goes in terms of script, which by the end of the show had accumulated a significant amount of improvised dialogue from the actors themselves. Some of the most infamous changes include Leo being Jewish, Momoko being a born-again evangelical Christian, and Keiichiro being developmentally disabled. In addition to its coarse language and mature subject matter, the script contains a range of pop culture references, skewering everything from political personalities and celebrities to well-known musicians, movies, and other television shows. But in Ghost Stories, nobody is completely immune to ridicule, not even the cast and staff members themselves. In episode 3, when Leo's ego gets the best of him after starring in a school play, one character remarks, "He even makes Chris Patton look humble," while another adds, "or Greg Ayres," which are Hajime and Leo's respective voice actors. In episode 4, the teacher scolds two of the schoolchildren by saying, "Matthew Greenfield and Little Donnie Rush, I expelled you two last week." This is a playful prod at ADV co-founder Matt Greenfield, as well as Don Rush, who has been an ADR director and voice actor on numerous projects with ADV. The teacher also adds, "If Jin Chung is here too, you're in big trouble," which is a shout out to Jin Chung, an ADR director for ADV's adaptation of the Super Dimension Fortress Macross. And in episode 13, when the scene ends with a shot centered behind her, Satsuki says, "Okay, stop trying to look up my skirt, it's a cartoon," before directly calling out ADV co-founder David Williams, just as the screen fades to black. Not even fellow cast member Vic Mignogna was safe, as evidenced by the numerous jokes made at his expense, like when Hajime thought Satsuki was pregnant in episode 15. It's that frosted Vic Mignogna lookalike, isn't it? I knew it. God, I thought you had better taste than that. Full Metal disgusting is what it is.
Did you know that there's another official English dub of Ghost Stories? Though arguably not nearly as dark or funny, a more faithful adaptation of the anime was produced by Animax and broadcasted throughout Southeast Asia as Ghosts at School.
It's shopping at Target. What?
Know any kids who are all alone right now? In the dark?
Hey, where's Ketaro?
He's playing games at my house all alone.
Oh no! That's the last time I let you babysit, you stupid idiot. Leo, make yourself useful and try to figure out some way to keep that Barbra Streisand bitch off our back.
Yes, but other kids are alone right now.
Where's Ketaro?
He's at my place playing a game. So you mean?
Guys, we have to go save Ketaro quickly.
Leo, listen, why don't you try to come up with a way of defeating Babasari, okay? In the meantime, I'm gonna go and get Kachiro.
But speaking of controversy, the English version of Ghost Stories wasn't the only version that offended viewers. The episode Am I Beautiful Kuchisake Onna is based on the long-standing slit-mouthed woman legends of Japan. Accounts vary by region and placement in history, but the stories frequently mention a woman who was mutilated by her husband, who sliced her mouth from ear to ear. While covering her mouth with a mask, she asks, "Am I beautiful?" to her potential victim. If he replies no after seeing her face, she then slices his mouth to look like hers. If he answers yes, then she goes away, only to follow him back to his home and murder him. According to the anime, the only way to stop her is to reply, "No, you're ugly and I don't want to be like you." This episode is said to have aired only once before being pulled due to complaints from parents of children with cleft lip and cleft palate disorders. Like the New Year special recap episode, this episode remains absent from current DVD releases. Originally planned to be episode 3, it is now often referred to as episode 21 if it is ever even mentioned at all.
Thanks for watching. We're Did You Know Anime, the anime trivia resource. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, and share this video with all the other Scooby-Don'ts out there. If you like watching anime with friends, or watching other people watch anime and make fun of it Mystery Science Theater 3000 style, you should check out Anime-BOM.
Don't forget to mention our Ghost Stories episode, because we watched it.
We even did an episode of Ghost Stories guest starring Johnny from Did You Know Anime. Just click on the link to check it out.
Okay, mention Rabbit Jonestown too. That'll be good.
I'm not doing that, Kyle.
Okay.